Greetings, fellow cultivators. Welcome to Audio Nova. Remember to like and subscribe to support the journey. Today, we're diving into the story of what's the point of cultivating immortality if you don't have money. Inside the live broadcast room, Xiong was explaining the rules and process of the Sky Pillar stage to the audience. The specific process for the Sky Pillar stage is, in the first round, the contestants each report their target weight and then take turns going on stage to hold up the Sky Pillar. This is done for a total of 3 rounds, and in the end, each contestant will be scored based on their best performance out of the 3 rounds. What needs to be noted is, during the process of reporting the target weight in each round, the contestants cannot know how much weight the other contestants have reported. That is to say, before going on stage each round, apart from the weight you have to support, how much the other contestants will support in this round, whether it's higher or lower than you, will only be known after each contestant goes on stage in turn. Gangshan, who was beside him, asked, "Then it seems that a very important point in this stage is the judgment of one's own limit strength." Gangshan slowly said, "If you misjudge your limit strength, if you judge it to low, your score will be low, but if you misjudge it to high, you won't be able to hold it up directly, which means a round of failure, wasting an opportunity to hold up the Sky Pillar, and may even get injured." Xiong nodded, agreeing, "That's right. According to my estimation, in the first round, all contestants will report a relatively simple way to adapt and warm up, conserve their strength, and at the same time, judge how heavy a Sky Pillar they can support at most. The second round will pursue a strength close to their own limit, as a guaranteed score. The third round will be a do-or-die attempt to challenge the limit." Inside the rest area of Songyang High School, Wang Hai, He Dai and others were watching Gangshan's live broadcast while watching the competition on the field. As for why they were watching Gangshan's live broadcast, it came from Wang Hai's recommendation. Wang Hai said this: "If you must watch body refinement streamers, you can watch Gangshan. He has rich experience in body refinement, and he doesn't sell medicine or cultivation methods. He is a rare conscientious streamer." After watching it, everyone found that Gangshan and Xiong's explanations of the physical competition were very thorough, so they kept watching until now. Qianshen listened to the side, nodding at this moment and said, "So that's how it is. Although this stage is a competition, it is actually a challenge of oneself against oneself." He Dai asked, "Teacher Wang, how heavy a Sky Pillar do you think Xiong and by Zhenjin can lift?" Wang Hai said lightly, "At least 6,000 to 7,000 kilograms should be no problem. Any higher than that, I can't judge well either." Wang Hai looked at Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin, who were lining up to report their target weight in the arena, and then looked at the Sky Pillar in the sky, thinking to himself, besides the exertion of strength, the most important thing in this final stage is the insight and judgment of one's own limit strength. People with a high enough level of body refinement not only possess great strength and speed, but also have a deep understanding and insight into their own physical condition. There are only 3 chances: is it to choose a score close to one's own limit of strength, or to try to challenge a score that exceeds the limit of strength? What would you choose? The others on the side took a deep breath when they heard the number of 6,000 to 7,000 kilograms and sighed one after another. Zhao Tianqing didn't speak, because he felt that if he, the weakest person present, made a sigh or even an exclamation, he would be like a clown. Alas, as long as a person is weak and poor, every word, every action, every move, will become ridiculous in the eyes of the strong. And weakness and poverty are both set off. He looked at Qianshen and He Dai on the side, thinking to himself, even if Qianshen is as rich as he is, and He Dai is as strong as he is, after coming to this arena, compared to these contestants, they also appear weak and poor. And no matter how arrogant they were in the past, or what kind of limelight they had in school, their behavior at this moment will become funny and clownish under the contrast of these strong people on the stage. This is Zhao Tianqing's law summed up after rich self-observation. He calls it the weak and poor clown theory. A strong person or a rich person, as long as they come in front of a group of stronger and richer people, they will become poor people or weak people, and then they will become funny, and finally become clowns. Zhao Tianqing sighed in his heart. There's no way. Who told us that this is an era where scores are king, immortality is supreme, and money can communicate with the gods? As all the contestants' target weights for the first round were reported, the competition officially began. The contestants will go on stage one by one in order of target weight, from low to high. The first person to go on stage was a Xian person. Only to see him, whose whole body was purple, slowly walk onto the stage, while the words 2,000 kilograms appeared on the pillar of the sky pillar. Looking up at the slowly falling sky pillar, this Xian person gave a light shout, stretched out his palms towards the sky, and slammed into the bottom of the sky pillar. With a loud bang, the sky pillar, which was originally falling slowly, was suddenly stopped. As 5 seconds passed, the words 2,000 kilograms on the sky pillar disappeared, and the pillar slowly rose, retracting again. The Xian person who went on stage breathed a sigh of relief, and walked off the stage. Next, one contestant after another went on stage, each holding up the reported weight. And the numbers appearing on the sky pillar became higher and higher, from 2,000 kilograms, to 2,500 kilograms, to 3,000 kilograms. When Chu Qiu went on stage, he was already holding up a 3,500 kilogram sky pillar. Only to see him shout, easily stopping the 3,500 kilogram sky pillar, and then slightly holding it up, feeling the pressure from the sky pillar. He secretly estimated in his heart, with my level of strength, it should be no problem to hold up 6,500 kilograms at most, right? Should I push it a little higher? Challenge the limit. On the other side of the live broadcast room, Gongshan and Li Jingchen were watching the students go on stage, one by one. Gongshan laughed, as expected. Everyone is warming up in the first round, and also adapting to the exertion of the sky pillar. Li Jingchen said, how much physical strength can be exerted, and how much weight of the sky pillar can be supported in the end, is inseparable from the limit of human strength and the contestant's own state on that day. But for contestants with strong enough insight into their own body, this round can basically accurately judge where their limit is, and know how heavy a sky pillar they can support. Just as the two were commenting on the competition, the numbers on the sky pillar were constantly changing, but in general, they ranged from 2 or 3,000 kilograms, to 3 or 4,000 kilograms. Clearly, no one was using their full strength in this round. All the contestants were adapting to the sky pillars, conserving their stamina, and silently judging how much weight their bodies could lift. But even sky pillars weighing 3 or 4,000 kilograms stunned many students in attendance. Zhang Yi walked onto the platform and slowly arrived, directly beneath the sky pillar. When he was below the stage, he didn't feel much, but now, standing in the center position under the sky pillar, and looking up, he felt as if the entire sky was blocked out. Especially as the sky pillar slowly descended, it was as if the entire sky was sinking, bringing an immense sense of oppression to those below. Zhang Yu reached out and touched the bottom of the sky pillar, feeling the weight from above, and thought to himself, is this what a 3,600 kilogram sky pillar feels like? Sensing the weight of the sky pillar, understanding the condition of his own body, and the support of every muscle, Zhang Yu gradually had an estimate of how much weight he could lift. As Zhang Yu stepped down from the platform, he nodded to Bai Zhenzhen, who was preparing to go up. The newest novels are first published on 69shu.com. And when Bai Zhenzhen stood under the sky pillar, feeling the force from above, she couldn't help but think, as expected, watching from below, and actually supporting it on stage, are completely different feelings. Inside the live broadcast room, Gong Chan said, Jing Chen, who do you think will win the sky pillar round? Li Jingchen, who was next to him, said, the muscle mass of the demon-blooded students far exceeds that of other contestants, so even if their physical strength is similar, their power output is often stronger. This stronger power brought about by more muscle mass is a burden on agility and speed in the first 2 rounds, because of the extra volume and weight, but it becomes an advantage in this round. And among the demon-blooded students, Zhang Wenwu has the highest weight and the highest physical strength. And if Zhang Wenwu represents the strongest power, then Yu Xing'an represents the combination of strength and technique, able to more deeply excavate the power of the flesh and explode with stronger power with less muscle mass. The final champion of the sky pillar round should fall on Zhang Wenwu and Yu Xing'an. Just as Li Jingchen and Gang Shan were talking, the second round of the sky pillar had already begun. As they had explained earlier, the contestants had chosen a strength close to their limit, striving to obtain a guaranteed result in this round. Thus, as contestant after contestant stepped onto the stage, the numbers on the sky pillars continued to increase, and each student demonstrated a weight far higher than in the previous round. Just after Lian Tianji had supported a 6,000 kilogram sky pillar, Qiu failed, while attempting to lift a 6,800 kilogram sky pillar. He let out a roar, his palms firmly supporting the bottom of the sky pillar, but his body trembled constantly, under the pressure of 6,800 kilograms, unable to stop the sky pillar from falling. In the end, he could only grit his teeth and retreat from the stage. Gong Shan in the live broadcast room said, "Alas, this is overestimating one's own level." Li Jingchen said, "The defect of imitation demon muscles is that they easily cause one's control over the body to decline, leading to inaccurate judgments. The best way for ordinary people to obtain powerful physical strength is still through medicine. As for the demon-blooded's innate muscle, mass, and Yu Xing'an's physical body and control require the careful training of golden core cultivators, conditions that ordinary people cannot have." Obviously, in this sky pillar round, Li Jingchen planned to label Zhong Wenwu and Yu Xing'an, the contenders for the championship, with the tags of demon-blooded and golden core disciple, highlighting the greater popularity and importance of medicine and super metabolism surgery for ordinary people. Just as Li Jingchen began to promote Xian Pharmaceuticals' new technology again, it was finally Bai Zhenzhen's turn to go on stage for the second time. With a burst of strength, she lifted the 7,000 kilogram sky pillar. Feeling the state of her body, especially the throbbing of the scars, Bai Zhenzhen thought to herself, "Next round, I'll try 8,000 kilograms, that should be close to my limit." After Bai Zhenzhen finished, it was Zhang Yu's turn to take the stage again. He lifted the 7,000 kilogram sky pillar and walked off the stage expressionlessly. Seeing Zhang Yu's performance of 7,000 kilograms, Li Jingchen thought to himself, "Oh, based on the level he showed before, he should be able to lift a heavier sky pillar." Did the Checheng's warning work? Or did the potent drugs he took in the last match prevent his body from recovering by now? In Songyang High School's resting area, watching Zhang Yu's performance, Wang Hai also sighed inwardly. As expected, he injured his body in the last match. Alas, that's not how you take drugs. This kid is really... Why didn't he ask me before taking the drugs? After Zhang Yu finished, Le Mulin lifted the 7,500 kilogram sky pillar. Song Hailong successfully challenged 8,300 kilograms, Hu Yurntao lifted 8,800 kilograms, and Yu Xing'an even broke through 9,000 kilograms. But Zhang Yu, who was beside the arena, didn't care about anyone's thoughts, and didn't even pay attention to the contestants, who were taking the stage one by one. At this moment, his eyes were only on himself, only on his own flesh and blood. At this moment, he was only focused on himself, only to unleash his strongest power in the next round. Only because when he first lifted the sky pillar, Zhang Yu, relying on his understanding and mastery of his own body, already knew clearly where his limit was. Even with his level, he could even feel how much weight the body could lift after an overloaded burst. So he didn't choose to waste energy in the second round to pursue a guaranteed result, and didn't desperately try in the second round to arouse the vigilance and pursuit of other contestants. He just casually lifted a 7,000 kilogram sky pillar, neither attracting attention nor spending much effort, and then wholeheartedly focused his spirit, conserved his strength, and wanted to show the most peak moment on the final stage. While Zhang Yu was silently conserving his strength and energy, a burst of exclamations erupted from the arena. In the live broadcast room, Gong Shan looked at the 10,000 kilograms displayed on the sky pillar and exclaimed, "Challenging such a high weight in the second round?" Zhong Wenwu slowly ascended the stage, his eyes fixed on the descending sky pillar above him, as if staring at the sky collapsing upon him. In the next moment, his bear-like hand slammed fiercely against the crashing sky pillar. With a bang, Zhong Wenwu's muscles tensed, veins bulged, and traces of blood seeped from his clenched teeth. But even with such exertion, the sky pillar continued its descent without stopping, seemingly determined to crush Zhong Wenwu on the stage inch by inch. However, at that moment, Zhong Wenwu let out a roar, and a sound like a dragon's cry echoed through the arena, startling countless students and spectators. Simultaneously, a cloud of blood mist erupted from Zhong Wenwu's entire body. The black dragon scales cracked, revealing bloody openings, as if his clothes were being torn apart. His flesh and scales couldn't withstand Zhong Wenwu's overloaded power, and were torn apart by his violently expanding muscles. As the blood mist erupted from Zhong Wenwu's body, the descending sky pillar gradually halted, and even moved upwards a few inches with another roar. The 10,000 kilogram challenge was a success. Below the stage, Hu Yurntao let out a tiger's roar, leading the Red Pagoda supporters in cheers. Gang Shan said in surprise, "Going all out in the second round?" His muscles must be severely strained. With such serious injuries, he definitely won't be able to participate in the next round. But with a score of 10,000 kilograms, no one besides Yu Xing'an has a chance of surpassing it. Now it depends on whether Yu Xing'an will go all out in the next round. Li Jingchen watched Zhang Wenwu walk off the stage and noticed that the situation was not as expected. His injuries were recovering rapidly. He thought to himself, does the Black Dragon bloodline give them extraordinary recovery abilities? Plus, watching the medical team rush towards Zhang Wenwu, Li Jingchen felt that Zhang Wenwu might very well appear on stage again in the third round. Li Jingchen sighed. Zhang Wenwu's 10,000 kilogram score will definitely stimulate the other contestants. The next round will be exciting. As the second round concluded, the contestants began to report their target weights for the final round. The staff member, while registering the weights, thought to himself, were they stimulated by Zhang Wenwu's desperate effort? They're also eager. At that moment, his eyes suddenly focused, and he looked up at Zhang Yu in front of him. This number, are you sure? After confirming again and again, the staff member still registered Zhang Yu's reported target weight, but a question couldn't help but arise in his mind, is he crazy? At the same time, in the White Dragon High School's rest area, Yu Xing'an, who was about to report his target weight, was stopped. Yu Xing'an said to Li Zulian on the other end of the phone, "Senior, why are you stopping me? You know my strength, this weight is definitely not a problem." Li Zulian said calmly, "But you'll get injured if you exert yourself beyond your limit. Xing'an, your body is strong, but that also means it's expensive to repair. I don't want to waste father's money on medical expenses." Yu Xing'an said, "What about the contract? If Zhang Wenwu is ahead of me in the next round, I can only get second place in this round." Li Zulian said calmly, "Even if you get second place in this round, your total score will still be first. You'll still be the champion of this sports competition. Don't waste money on insignificant rankings." Yu Xing'an still felt a sense of frustration, especially when he thought about how he was clearly stronger than that Zhang Wenwu, but he couldn't overwhelm him with a burst of power. Instead, he might have to let him take first place in the final round. He felt that the heavenly martial heart refining art, circulating in his mind, was becoming sluggish. Sensing Yu Xing'an's dissatisfaction, Li Zulian warned, "Xing'an, understand that your body no longer belongs to you. Everything you have belongs to father. You have no right to squander assets and money that don't belong to you. This is also father's intention." After Li Zulian ended the call, she thought to herself, the long-term heavenly martial heart refining art has made his thinking a bit rigid. It's a good opportunity to suppress him, which can also serve as a foundation for the next mental cultivation technique. As for the competition ranking, Li Zulian had no worries. After all, Yu Xing'an had accumulated too much of an advantage in the first 3 rounds. Even if Zhang Wenwu snatched first place in this round, it wouldn't matter. Yu Xing'an would still be the champion of the sports competition, and the advertising and endorsement contracts with White Dragon High School and Xiong Group would proceed smoothly. On the other side, Yu Xing'an hung up the phone and crushed the phone with his fingers with a bang. He exuded a cold aura, and none of the surrounding high school students dared to approach him. After a long time, under the repeated urging of the staff, he walked over with a frosty expression and began to report his target weight for the final round. As the final round of the Sky Pillar began, the contestants, after stepping onto the stage, were no longer as conservative as in the previous round. Instead, they went all out and began to challenge their limits. Some succeeded, some failed, and some were injured. Gongshan said, "Everyone is going all out in this round. The specific numbers of the target weights are also very interesting. I think the contestants who can set the most precise target weight should have a more thorough understanding of their limits." Li Jingchen nodded and said, "Theoretically speaking, the more you understand your body and condition, the more precise the weight you set will be." When Bai Zhenjin stepped onto the stage, the number displayed on the sky pillar was 8,050 kilograms. As the immense pressure came from her palms, the scars on Bai Zhenjin's body turned scarlet again, like dragon claws slowly clenching her body. Seemingly stimulated by the speed competition, Bai Zhenjin's scars became even more crimson, emitting a light like rubies. And when Bai Zhenjin roared and lifted the sky pillar upwards, several scars finally cracked, staining her body with blood. Bai Zhenjin groaned in pain and roared in her heart, "Damn it, body, hold on. I want to get into the top 10 universities." After persisting for 5 seconds, Bai Zhenzhen finally released her hand supporting the sky pillar and walked off the platform covered in blood. Wang Hai immediately ran up to her and sighed helplessly, "You know your condition. Why didn't you report a lower weight?" Bai Zhenzhen smiled slightly and said nothing, but thought to herself, "Last time in the martial arts competition, I didn't have the money or confidence to fight to the end. This time, Yuzi won the championship and will reimburse my medical expenses, so I can finally let go a little." Thinking of this, Bai Zhenzhen looked at Zhang Yu, who was still immersed in his own world, oblivious to everything around him, and thought to herself, "Good, Yuzi, keep it up. This old lady is counting on you to reimburse my medical expenses." At that moment, Bai Zhenjin felt a wave of heat coming towards her, and saw Lemulin, who was about to step onto the stage, emitting billowing heat, as if she was about to be cooked. Bai Zhenjin secretly complained in her heart, "How many pills did this girl take? Is she trying to become a pill furnace?" Lemulin recalled the process of taking the pills just now. The competition coach said worriedly, "Even if it's President Le Jingchen's request, isn't this dose too dangerous?" Lemulin said indifferently, "Give it to me." She slowly said to the advertising camera beside her, "For other students, this round is just about challenging their limits of strength. But for me, who has undergone super metabolism surgery, this round can also be used to challenge my limits of medication." After displaying the potions one by one, Lemulin pushed them into her body one by one. After a moment, she only felt her heart beat violently, and her face turned red in an instant. "My target weight is 9,000 kilograms, which is a score that only strength-type contestants can achieve, but the current me can do it." On the stage, after Lemulin trembled and supported the 9,000 kilogram sky pillar for 5 seconds, she suddenly knelt on the ground, feeling that her leg bones were fractured. But facing the countless cameras and the upcoming publicity, she knew she couldn't show weakness because this was her responsibility, as an important member of the family's training program. So she struggled to support her legs, trying to pretend that nothing had happened, as she walked off the stage. As soon as she got off the stage, she was immediately surrounded by many cameras. Lemulin, although her head was a little dizzy, still said the advertising slogan under the reminder of the competition coach. As Lemulin succeeded in challenging 9,000 kilograms, Song Hailong supported 9,300 kilograms, Hu Yurntao supported 9,800 kilograms covered in blood, and Yu Xing'an broke through 10,001 kilograms, becoming the second contestant in the entire venue to successfully challenge the 10,000 kilogram sky pillar. Then, under the watchful eyes of everyone, Zhang Wenwu, still with traces of blood on his body, slowly stepped onto the stage. But just as everyone was anticipating Zhang Wenwu's performance, Wang Hai noticed something strange. "Where's Zhang Yu? Why hasn't he come on stage yet? Is he behind Zhang Wenwu? How many kilograms did he report?" At the same time, Zhang Wenwu once again looked up at the slowly descending sky pillar, feeling the dark pillar gradually blocking his vision, as if the sky was collapsing. And this feeling of the sky collapsing he had experienced countless times since he was a child. Every selection in the breeding base, every time a companion was eliminated, every exam after entering high school, every time he was so nervous, so scared, so helpless. Just like at this moment, when he tried to prop up his palms, wanting to withstand the pressure from the sky. He could only feel the weight of 10,800 kilograms, continuing to press down with an unstoppable force, pressing him to lower his head, bend his back, and kneel to the ground. The referee on the side asked, "Zhang Wenwu, do you want to continue?" Zhang Wenwu didn't hear what the referee said. His mind only recalled the order given by his father. 10,800 kilograms, you should be able to do that, right? Strength challenges should be your forte, shouldn't they? If you can't even do this, who will buy the new technology that Red Pagoda is launching this time? Injured? If you're not injured, how can you show off the recovery abilities brought by the new technology? Being injured is a good thing. The more serious the injury, the more it will show your recovery ability. At this moment, Zhang Wenwu's muscles became tighter and tighter, his teeth seemed to be about to be crushed, and his heart beat violently like a car engine. "I can do it. I can do it, father." The current me is no longer the 33,456 who could only watch helplessly, as fate arranged everything, watching the sky collapse. The current me has read books, has cultivated the immortal path, is a high school student, is a proud son of heaven who wants to go to university. The current me can hold up the sky. Roar. With the explosion of muscles in both arms, Zhang Wenwu suddenly withstood the descending sky pillar. Then, as his huge body stood up with a bang, the sky pillar was pushed back 1 meter. Along with the breaking of muscles and the fracture of bones, Zhang Wenwu's body also exploded with blood, and a trace of blood from his internal organs flowed from the corner of his mouth. The next 5 seconds felt as long as his past life. When Zhang Wenwu came to his senses, he had already fallen on the stage. Looking at Hu Yintao rushing in front of him, Zhang Wenwu murmured, Succeeded." Hu Yintao nodded repeatedly, excitedly saying, "Big brother, you succeeded. With your publicity this time, the Black Dragon bloodline technology will definitely sell well." At the same time, cameras immediately followed up to record the entire process of Zhang Wenwu's injury recovery. Hu Yintao encouraged him from the side, "Big brother, hold on, don't faint. There's still an advertising slogan to say." Just as Zhang Wenwu was being carried down, the Red Pagoda people were excitedly calling out the name of the first place, and many students and spectators were sighing at Zhang Wenwu's achievements. The sky pillar on the stage trembled slightly, revealing a number: 12,531 kilograms. Only then did everyone realize that there was still an expert. 12,531 kilograms. Is he crazy? How could a student who has only been cultivating for 8.5 months since the start of the semester achieve this? Even a demon hybrid couldn't do it. When they saw the number on the sky pillar, this was the thought that surfaced in the minds of most people present. Gang Shan in the live broadcast room was also surprised, saying, "Who is the next contestant? They're actually challenging the 12,531 kilogram sky pillar." Li Jingchen beside him said calmly, "The last contestant who hasn't come on stage should be Zhang Yu from Songyang High School, right?" Gang Shan was taken aback. That student from Songyang High School? He only lifted 7,000 kilograms in the last round, right? Now he's jumping straight to 12,531 kilograms. Isn't he afraid of being crushed to death? And this weight is accurate to the single digit. Does he mean he has a complete grasp of his limit, even down to the single digit? Li Jingchen didn't speak, because he couldn't figure out what was going on either. Could it be a new promotional tactic? Humorous promotion? Are White Dragon High School and Xiong Corporation using marketing methods I don't understand? Wang Hai, on the other hand, was getting anxious. What is this kid doing? 12,531 kilograms. Is that something he can handle right now? People will die. How expensive of an insurance did you buy to dare to play like this? Imagining the pressure of 12,531 kilograms bearing down, and Zhang Yu possibly being seriously injured the moment he forcibly supports it, Wang Hai immediately rushed to the arena. If something happened to the student he was leading, he, as the teacher, would also be responsible. Especially if the person didn't die, but all the money was spent. Wang Hai didn't want such an excellent student to have all his immortal potential ruined early in his high school career by medical expenses. Although Wang Hai wanted to stop him, he was blocked by the staff. While Wang Hai was entangled with the staff, the other contestants also looked at Zhang Yu with surprised expressions. Looking at his back, La Mulin touched her hot and somewhat dizzy head, thinking wildly, could he have filled it in wrong? Song Hailong became extremely curious. Zhang Yu doesn't seem like an idiot, what exactly is he trying to do? Yu Xing'an believed that he had the strongest physical body and the highest level of physical control on the scene. Looking at Zhang Yu not far away, he thought to himself, a bluffing guy, there's no way he can do that with his level. Hu Yintao looked disdainful and also didn't believe that Zhang Yu could lift the 12,531 kilogram sky pillar. He was just about to exchange a few words with Zhang Wenwu beside him, mocking Zhang Yu, but found that Zhang Wenwu had already fainted. At this moment, countless eyes on the scene were focused on Zhang Yu, all the attention gathered on him alone, forming a substantial pressure. Just watching from afar gave Zhao Tianxing goosebumps all over, wishing he could dig a hole for Zhang Yu to hide in. But at this moment, Zhang Yu's eyes seemed to no longer see anyone in the arena. He just calmly waved towards the entrance of the gymnasium, and calmly accepted the takeout delivered by teacher Xian. This was the medicine he ordered just before the final round of the competition. Although he paid extra to have a key refining realm deliveryman deliver it, it was still stuck outside the school gate, and was only now being delivered by teacher Xian. Zhang Yu slowly took out the 3 tubes of injections from the takeout packaging and injected them into his body one by one. Feeling the state of his flesh and blood, he thought to himself, after all, for a weight of 12,531 kilograms, it's still necessary to use medicine for assistance. Seeing Zhang Yu injecting medicine into his body, Wang Hai's heart sank even more. What kind of medicine is he injecting? Why is he injecting medicine? Forcing himself like this will really damage his foundation. In the eyes of many people on the scene, Zhang Yu's reliance was clearly the medicine he was injecting at this moment. Looking at Zhang Yu slowly ascending back, Bai Zhenjin thought to herself, go, you, win the prize money, advertising, endorsements, and a spot in the top 10. Win them all. In the live broadcast room, Gong Shan also became excited. Zhang Yu's physical strength is at level 4.95, right? With a weight of 12,531 kilograms, he could be seriously injured if he's not careful. Li Jingchen nodded and said, it's almost impossible to make the body explode beyond its limits and withstand this weight of the sky pillar. On the contrary, if the posture and force application are not careful, he will suffer tendon and bone fractures. Gang Shan sighed. So it's not just challenging his own strength, but also challenging his own skills, and he's still using his medical insurance and even his immortal potential to challenge it. On the stage, Zhang Yu slowly raised his head and looked at the bottom of the sky pillar. Although the scene was extremely noisy, although countless eyes and attention were focused on him, although this battle was related to his future, to the arrangements of the 3 major high schools, to the company's plans. But for Zhang Yu, who was single-minded at this moment, he was no longer thinking about these things. And when he activated the full concentration state of the heavenly martial heart refining art, his spirit was focused to an unprecedented degree. The whole world seemed to turn into black and white at this moment, and Zhang Yu's eyes were only left with the sky pillar in front of him and his own body. His strong heart was constantly beating, and his muscles and bones were extremely active, under the nourishment of qi, and blood, and medicine. There is no doubt that after the breakthrough of the heart in the previous round, and an hour and a half of development, his body was at a peak state. Even his physical strength had increased from level 4.95 to level 4.96. At this moment, his heart was no longer a drag, his whole body was extremely balanced, and he could perfectly unleash the power contained in his flesh and blood. Then the rest is very simple. Just do what I can do. This was a rare occasion for Zhang Yu to enter a state of full concentration, purely for the operation of power, in a non-high-speed environment. Looking at the sky pillar falling down little by little like a snail, Zhang Yu gently stretched out a finger and pressed it against the bottom of the sky pillar, and he could immediately feel the power of mountains and seas descending from the sky, penetrating his body and conducting to the platform under his feet. And as long as he slightly used force to resist this force, it seemed that he could see the pressure from the sky pillar and the high platform under his feet, up and down. Like the mouth of a giant beast, wanting to crush him into powder. In the next moment, as Zhang Yu's palm suddenly exerted force, wanting to resist the falling sky pillar, this feeling became stronger and stronger. It was clearly a well-trained and extremely powerful body. But at this moment, in Zhang Yu's perception, his body became fragile under the pressure of the sky pillar. The muscles of the arms, shoulders, spine, leg bones, and the muscles of various parts of the body were becoming more and more fragile under the pressure of this huge force. That was in his perception. As long as he was not careful, it would exceed the bearable limit of various parts of the body, and then his tendons and bones would be broken. So, with the downward pressure of the sky pillar, Zhang Yu constantly adjusted his posture. The arm muscles can't hold on like this. They need to be guided. The lumbar spine can't resist like this. It needs to be unloaded. The pressure on the legs needs to be shared. Zhang Yu felt like he was assembling a building block at this moment, freely and skillfully combining the strength of his whole body to support the surging pressure from the sky. It's just that this building block was made of his flesh and blood, and at this moment it seemed as fragile as glass, and a slight hesitation might crush it with the terrifying force from the sky. The latest novel is on 69 books bar first. Almost. It's almost done. Zhang Yu's brain was running at high speed, constantly adjusting and decomposing the force, and sweat was constantly secreted from his forehead. And in this process, the sky pillar was still firmly falling down. The sky pillar and the high platform were like a gradually closing giant mouth, and Zhang Yu felt like he was walking on a tightrope above and could be swallowed by this giant mouth at any time. But Zhang Yu didn't even have time to panic at this moment. With his wholehearted investment, he could only feel that his thinking was becoming smoother and smoother, and the power in his eyes was becoming clearer and clearer. The center of gravity of the sky pillar, the flow of power in the muscles, the support of every piece of flesh and blood. Everything was so clear, that Zhang Yu felt an unprecedented sense of transparency. Under the huge pressure in front of him, Zhang Yu made a new breakthrough. Guidance, transfer, unloading, exertion, support, explosion. The skills brought by one 10th level technique after another were integrated at this moment. Zhang Yu seemed to be able to see countless forces flowing, balancing, and intertwining. In the next moment, a flash of light suddenly flashed in his eyes, and the nerves, muscles, and bones of his whole body seemed to be penetrated by a thunderbolt. I can feel it. I can see it. All the power. With the violent exertion of the muscles of his whole body, Zhang Yu's whole body also reached an unprecedented balance. Every inch of his skin, every inch of his bones, every trace of his flesh and blood, was sharing the terrifying power from the sky for him. The power of 12,531 kilograms burst out from Zhang Yu's body, and his body was like an extremely fragile, an extremely strong sculpture, slowly supporting the sky pillar. The reason why it was extremely fragile was because if he was not careful, or even if the force he was bearing was slightly tilted, the balance of his body would be broken, and it would collapse and crack. The reason why it was extremely strong was because every trace of flesh and blood in his whole body had burst out its own limit, like steel and cement, pushing the terrifying force of 12,531 kilograms to support the sky pillar. So, in the shocked eyes of countless people, Zhang Yu slowly supported his spine like this and steadily carried the sky pillar on his shoulders. The first second, bones began to show damage, skin began to crack, and blood stains appeared everywhere on his body. The third second, internal organs began to bleed internally. The fifth second, Zhang Yu's mouth, eye sockets, and nose overflowed with blood, but he showed a smile. Because the 12,531 kilogram sky pillar was carried by him. At this moment, he represented the strongest force in the entire arena. Under the stage, Xiong stared at Zhang Yu's body, his eyes constantly scanning over every muscle and every undulation that was revealed. At this moment, what he saw was not an ordinary body, but a skill that was perfect to the peak, a performance that comprehensively surpassed his understanding of the body and power. At this moment, Xiong understood that he had lost. He had lost this time in the excavation and use of physical power. Zhang Yu in front of him used his own flesh and blood as a bet and defeated him. And when the sky pillar slowly rose back, there was almost no place on Zhang Yu's body that was not damaged. But it was precisely because there was damage all over his body, and he had taken the damage, that he was not seriously injured. Wang Hai and Bai Chen rushed to the stage. Wang Hai quickly checked Zhang Yu's body, and then took a breath of cold air. The injury is so slight. Even if he doesn't receive treatment, he can gradually heal himself? No, it's not simply slight. If many places were a little more serious, I'm afraid it would be a chain reaction, and the medical expenses would be hundreds of thousands, or even millions. This kid has controlled the injury below the limit of a serious injury. As a gold medal physical education coach, Wang Hai is naturally very familiar with the structure of the human body. It is precisely because of this that he knows how incredible Zhang Yu's injury is. And the only explanation Wang Hai can think of for this is talent. Absolute talent in the excavation and control of physical power. This Zhang Yu is the most talented and most valuable student I have ever encountered in my coaching career. Listening to Audio Nova. From the spectator seats. Lan Ling took a deep breath and slowly said, he actually did it? With his current weight of 12,531 kilograms, the gap between him and Xiong might really allow Zhang Yu to take first place overall. As a second-year high school student specializing in body refinement and having participated in sports competitions, Lan Ling deeply understood the difficulty of Zhang Yu's performance at this moment. To achieve this level with his physical strength, whether it's the exploitation of physical power or the skill and power operation, it far exceeds the level of a first-year high school student. Chechen frowned, seemingly completely unexpected that things would develop to this point. He murmured, that is to say, the speed competition with Xiong in the previous match wasn't achieved through some kind of strong drug. And this kind of control over the body, no wonder he was able to control his body surface features like Xiong after accepting Bai Long's new body refinement technology. Zhu Shechen looked at Zhang Yu, who was walking down the platform, and regretted even more that he hadn't signed such a genius back then. Now, not only was he snatched away by Zhang Pianpian, but it also affected their two families' transaction with Xian. As a body refinement specialist, Lan Ling greatly admired the talent Zhang Yu displayed at this moment. But the more he admired him, the more he wanted to suppress him. Lan Ling coldly said, "This Zhang Yu must be suppressed. Otherwise, if he keeps promoting Bai Long's imitation demon muscle technology, it will only hinder our subsequent cooperation with Xian. This is no longer just a private matter between us and him." Zhu Shechen shook his head and said, "Look at you, always so impatient." Zhang Yu is currently in the limelight, but behind him are Bai Long High School and Xianyuan Group. In order to promote the new body refinement technology, they will definitely protect him. Why should we rush up to be the villain? If anyone should be anxious now, it should be Xian and Hongta. Zhu Shechen sighed, and in about 2 months, Zhang Pianpian will be leaving. At that time, the promotional effect of Zhang Yu, and Bai Zhenjin, will be almost over. When that time comes, isn't it easy to deal with two poor guys? There are plenty of ways to make them obediently earn money for us. Inside the live broadcast room, Gang Shen looked at Zhang Yu, who was walking off the stage, and said with emotion, "This sports competition for the first-year students in Songyang City was truly worth watching." He was able to successfully challenge 12,531 kilograms, and not by relying on pure brute force, but by a peak combination of strength and skill. Amazing, high school students are becoming more and more competitive and terrifying. Li Jingchen glanced at his phone, where someone had sent him a list of the potions Zhang Yu had ordered for takeout. After a quick glance, Li Jingchen knew that they were all the most common and widely available potions. Confirming this, Li Jingchen's eyes narrowed, and he thought to himself, with a physical level of 4.95, it's impossible to support the 12,531 kilogram sky pillar with brute force alone. The potions he's using are also ordinary. That is to say, Zhang Yu was able to achieve this by extremely exploiting and controlling his own body, pushing the power of his muscles to the limit. Thinking of this, Li Jingchen breathed a slight sigh of relief. Fortunately, he's just a peerless genius. Geniuses aren't scary, because even the most peerless and powerful genius only represents one strong person. Perhaps many students, teachers, and viewers value certain geniuses. But from Li Jingchen's perspective, geniuses are just small investment projects. What's truly frightening is unknown new technology. What Li Jingchen was truly worried about just now is whether Xianyuan Group's technology could mass-produce people like Zhang Yu, who could challenge the 12,531 kilogram sky pillar. Thankfully, it seems that this student named Zhang Yu simply has peerless talent. But the thought that Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin, the representatives of Bai Long's technology, would be added to the top 10, and the top 2 spots in the overall score would be taken by Zhang Yu and Yu Xing'an, made Li Jingchen feel uncomfortable. Because this meant that Xian Pharmaceuticals' promotional effect was discounted, and their family's investment income was affected. So, after hearing Gang Shan's exclamation, Li Jingchen also said, "Indeed, Zhang Yu's talent is extremely terrifying. Who doesn't know how to hype things up?" Li Jingchen decided to hype up Zhang Yu, focusing on his peerless talent. Anyway, good grades are all because of talent. In this way, if Xianyuan Group wants to use this person to promote new technology in the future, the effect will be discounted. Li Jingchen said, "I don't know if Gang Shan noticed, but when he supported the sky pillar, he was covered in blood, and he was injured all over his body. But now he can act normally, which means that although he was injured all over, there wasn't a single serious injury. This is very terrifying, indicating that he relied on his skills to cleverly distribute the power to various parts of his body, and no part exceeded the limit it could withstand. It can be said that he truly exerted his power to the limit. His skill in controlling power has probably reached the peak of ki refining, and even you and I can't compare." Gang Shan looked at Li Jingchen with some surprise. "Brother, are you hyping him up this much? Does Xian also have an investment in this Zhang Yu?" But Gang Shan was, after all, an experienced streamer who had even promoted high-interest loans, mortgaging his own mother. What kind of situation hadn't he seen? After a little thought, he guessed Li Jingchen's plan. so he cooperated and said, indeed, Zhang Yu's physical technique seems to have reached perfection. 1 point of strength in his hands can exert the effect of 10 points. Simple physical strength, body structure, or the use of medicine or technology can no longer accurately describe his true power. Good hype. Inside the Songyang High School rest area, Zhang Yu listened to the conversation between Li Jingchen and Gang Chen in the live broadcast room, nodded in agreement, and asked, which streamer is this? His eyes are like torches, and his analysis is thorough. Tell me his name, I'll follow him later. He Dio, who was watching the streamer, said helplessly, Gong Shan. Wang Hai said dissatisfiedly from the side, He Dio, Jiang Yu is curious about this streamer, can you bring your phone over and share it with your classmates? He Dio was speechless again. Why hadn't he noticed that students with good grades were so annoying before? At least when his grades were higher than others, he would never be so arrogant. Fortunately, Zhang Yu waved his hand and said, no need, Teacher Wang. Don't disturb the lives of ordinary students for my little curiosity. Zhang Yu said with emotion, I'm just an ordinary student who took 4th place in the French competition, 1st place in the martial arts competition, and may take 1st place in the sports competition. I just want to get along with everyone, and don't want to be like Bai, Long, and Xian, where the hierarchy is so clear. Wang Hai said to the students beside him, look, you see, Zhang Yu has always been so humble, that's why he can achieve today's achievements. If he were at Bai Long High School, you would all have to kneel and listen to him today. Then Wang Hai randomly pointed to a student and said, Zhao Tianxing, what are you still doing? Hurry up and get a few bottles of energy drinks for Zhang Yu. Didn't you see that he needs to replenish his strength after participating in the competition? Zhao Tianxing understood that although Wang Hai seemed to be pointing randomly, the fact that he could accurately point to the student with the worst grades present meant that it was definitely not random. He could only sigh that his weak, poor, and clown theory had been verified again, and then ran to get energy drinks for Zhang Yu. At this moment, the sky pillar on the stage flashed, and the final overall scores and rankings of the sports competition were about to be announced. Zhang Yu, Bai Zhenzhen, Wang Hai, everyone present looked at the sky pillar, watching the names appear one by one. First place, Songyang High School, Zhang Yu, 341 points. Second place, Bai Long High School, Yu Xing'an, 338 points. Third place, Xian High School, Lemulin, 324 points. Fourth place, Bai Long High School, Song Hailong, 322 points. Fifth place, Songyang High School, Bai Zhenzhen, 320 points. Sixth place, Hongta High School, Zhang Wenwu. Bai Zhenzhen didn't bother to look any further after 6th place. After all, she felt that only the top 5 in this competition had any value, and the ones behind were just trash, not worth looking at. On the other side, while Zhang Yu was still looking at the name ranked first on the sky pillar, his phone rang. It was a call from Zhang Pianpian. Zhang Yu answered the phone and said, I took 1st place. Jiang Pianpian said, yes, I've already communicated with Bai Long. As long as you're willing to admit that you accepted Bai Long's imitation demon muscle modification, they will give you advertisements and endorsements, and they will help you withstand the pressure from other companies. Zhang Yu's eyes lit up and asked, how much money? Zhang Pianpian sighed, it should have been more, but since Li Jingchen started hyping up your talent with Gangshan, Xian has begun to fully promote you as a peerless genius. If this continues, the advertising and endorsement fees will probably be reduced a lot. Zhang Yu was furious. The flattery that he had just found pleasing now sounded so harsh when he thought about it. For the first time, Zhang Yu discovered that he actually hated flattery so much. Zhang Yu asked again, what about Ah Zhen? She's in 5th place, can you help her get some advertisements too? Jiang Pianpian said, I know, wait for news. Also, no matter how much money you get today, remember not to spend it first, and don't use it all to pay off the loan. In less than 2 months, I'll be going to university. Let's meet tonight, I have something to talk to you about. From Zhang Pianpian's words, Zhang Yu felt a sense of urgency coming over him. Unknowingly, there were less than 2 months left before Zhang Pianpian left Kongshu, Layer 1. At that time, he and Bai Zhenzhen would lose Zhang Pianpian's current protection and face the pressure from high school, the student council, and the company alone. Thinking of this, the joy in Zhang Yu's heart from winning the sports competition was dispelled a lot, and a sense of urgency surged in his heart instead. seeking monthly tickets. Just shortly after Jiang Yu contacted Zhang Pianpian, several electronic contracts were sent over. These contracts stipulated the requirements for their upcoming promotion of the imitation demon muscle, as well as the requirements for shooting, commercials, and being spokespersons. The specific rewards were endorsement fee of 600,000 per year, paid in 3 installments. Zhang Yu felt a surge of excitement as he looked at the remuneration. It was the first time he had so much money since coming to Kongshu. But when he thought about how he should have been making even more, all because that damn Li Jingchen labeled him as a peerless genius with his purple cloud, causing his commercial value to plummet, anger welled up in Zhang Yu's heart once again. Meanwhile, Bai Zhenjin, seeing her own endorsement fee of 400,000, was equally flushed with excitement. Haha, even though my ranking wasn't as high as Zhang Yu's this time, I don't have the peerless genius label. Unlike you, I didn't attract a bunch of dirty traffic from people focusing on geniuses. Of course, there were also many restrictions in the contract for them. For example, they couldn't deny that they used imitation demon muscle, nor could they prevent others from using it. Also, regarding the explanation for the lack of physical characteristics, one aspect was their strong control, and the other was the excellent technology of Immortal Rhythm Group, which allowed them to adapt quickly, thus preventing anyone from seeing physical changes. Furthermore, both he and Bai Zhenjin had to state that the main reason they could achieve excellent results in sports competitions was due to the imitation demon muscle technology. Other restrictions included not criticizing imitation demon muscle, not using purple cloud or red pagoda's new body refining techniques, and so on. Of course, after Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin saw the remuneration, they felt that these were all minor matters. Shortly after Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin signed the contract, many staff members and a popular body refining internet celebrity blogger came to Songyang High School's rest area, saying they wanted to interview Zhang Yu. Having been forewarned by Zhang Pianpian, Zhang Yu was prepared for this and quickly pulled Bai Zhenjin to appear in front of the camera together. That's right, we owe our achievements today, entirely, to the Immortal Rhythm Group's imitation demon muscle technology. I used to be a mediocre student who couldn't even get into the top 10 in my grade, but ever since I got imitation demon muscle, everything I eat tastes better, acupuncture doesn't hurt anymore, I can concentrate better in class and I gain muscle faster. If you're afraid of low scores, you need to use imitation demon muscle. I believe that students who don't use imitation demon muscle in the future will lack competitiveness and be gradually eliminated in the waves of high school. As Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin's interview continued, a large crowd of ordinary high school, key high school students, and teachers quickly gathered around. Zhang Yu then noticed that many of them, even some of the audience members, were also going to Immortal Rhythm Company's booth to inquire. Especially after the interview, Zhang Yu saw students from ordinary and key high schools running towards the booth with longing and yearning on their faces, as if they were seeing crops willingly offering themselves up to be harvested, which made him feel somewhat emotional. At the same time, the evil god, who was disguised as a rosary on Zhang Yu's chest, said, "What are you sighing about? You're not feeling sorry for those poor bastards, are you? If they don't spend money here, they'll spend it somewhere else. Who cares who squeezes them dry? We might as well make some money while we're at it." Zhang Yu went to a corner and said in a voice that only he could hear, "I don't feel sorry for them. After all, the imitation demon muscle technology is indeed useful." Hee, is it really useful? The evil god suddenly chuckled. The key refining stage has its limits. Dao heart has a maximum of 10 levels, mana has a maximum of 100, and physical strength has a limit of 10 levels. Do you think the students competing with you, even without imitation demon muscle, could reach that limit if they were given more time to train slowly? Zhang Yu was slightly stunned, but he already had the answer in his heart. The students present were all top students, from a young age. If they had enough time, it shouldn't be a problem for them to push their cultivation to the limit of the key refining stage. The evil god said faintly, "A long time ago, as long as you scored above 650 on the college entrance exam and had won, or to competition rankings in high school, you could steadily get into the top 10 universities. Later, gradually, the college entrance exam score requirements became higher and higher. Students had to improve their data as much as possible, in a short period of 3 years, compressing the cultivation that originally required 5 or even 10 years to reach in the key refining stage into 3 years. Then, the requirements for competition awards became higher and higher. The competition started from the third year of high school, slowly turned into the second year, and then the first year. Now, they even have to use this imitation demon muscle, wanting to have the level of the second year of high school in the first year. This imitation demon muscle, it's just squeezing out the power that they could have cultivated in 1, or 2, or 3 more years in advance. But just like the initial promotion of body refining pills, when most people start taking pills and using imitation demon muscle, immortal cultivation trash are still immortal cultivation trash. Those who couldn't get into the top 10 universities still can't get in. Those who can't get a foundation establishment qualification certificate still can't get one. And the ultimate limit of life is still the key refining limit. What's the difference from when they didn't take pills and didn't engage in new body refining techniques? Oh, no, there is still a difference. These immortal cultivation trash have taken on more debt for this imitation demon muscle. Do you understand? The only function of these body refining techniques is to help them compete with other students in high school. But no matter how hard they try, no matter how desperately they work, the number of places in the top 10 universities will not increase, the number of people who pass the foundation establishment qualification certificate will not increase, and the limit of key refining cannot change. The evil god laughed again. This is all the top 10 sects and companies playing with them together. But they play well, making them willingly pay money. They're much better at it than we evil gods are. Just as the evil god was chuckling, Chap116 cautiously walked over and inquired about the imitation demon muscle from Xiong. The last time Songyang High School had a special training program, Chap116 chose to give up, both because he felt the program was too cruel and because he was afraid of wasting his family's money, only to end up with nothing. But this time, seeing Zhang Yu's results, Chap116 became greatly interested in the imitation demon muscle. Especially since he had practically watched Zhang Yu's rapid progress, day by day. Originally, Chap116 was too embarrassed to ask Zhang Yu the reason for his rapid progress, but now that he saw Zhang Yu and Bai Zhenjin actively promoting and being interviewed, he wanted to inquire about it as well. He looked at Zhang Yu and asked, "Anew, is imitation demon muscle really that powerful? Can it narrow the gap between us and the top 3 high schools?" Zhang Yu nodded and said, "Yes, it's really powerful. Without imitation demon muscle, I wouldn't have gotten first place." Chap116 asked expectantly, "Do you think it's necessary for me to use imitation demon muscle? The latest novels are first published at 69books.com. Thinking of the restrictions in the contract, Zhang Yu could only nod and say, "Yes, it's pretty good." Chap116 smiled. "You also think I should get the modification?" Seeing Chap116's excited face, as if he had already made a decision, Zhang Yu said jokingly, "Actually, I'm so powerful because of natural body refining, so I can control the increased physical strength as I wish." Chap116 thought Zhang Yu was joking, and laughed along. The evil god, disguised as a rosary, sneered, "You still want to imply that he shouldn't spend this money? Save it. Everyone is starting to use new technologies. If he doesn't spend this money, how can he keep up? He'll only be eliminated early. Besides, these immortal cultivation trash won't listen to you. If you keep advising them, they'll just think you're lying to them, afraid that they'll improve. Don't violate the contract again and lose a friend. This is Kungshu. The trend is like this. How can you change it alone?" On the other side, Dai had been trying hard to listen to Chap116 and Zhang Yu's conversation. Hearing this, he couldn't help but think, natural body refining. I don't think any part of your body is natural. Then, his eyes flickered, and he thought, is he saying this because he's afraid that we'll all get imitation demon muscle modifications and catch up to him in the future? Thinking of this, a trace of worry welled up in Hidayu's heart. I wonder if there will be any problems if I get the imitation demon muscle after I've already had the transplant surgery. Zhang Yu looked at the surrounding classmates and could feel the eagerness in their hearts. A trace of helplessness flashed in Zhang Yu's heart. He seemed to have already seen his surrounding classmates, one after another, all becoming neither human nor beast. In the future, Songyang High School could be renamed Songyang Monster Zoo. No, if this continues, in a few years, the entire Songyang city might become Zootopia. The evil god, disguised as a rosary, said, "Boy, do you still have time to care about others?" Zhang Yu walked to the side and said softly, "You haven't said so much in a long time." I'm just resting and saving some energy. The evil god chuckled. Besides, there are many people paying attention here. If I say less, isn't it also to avoid exposing clues and implicating both of us? Boy, everyone from top to bottom in this arena is a bunch of blind people. They've only seen the tip of the iceberg of your talent. Otherwise, they would definitely tear you apart and study you thoroughly. But even so, there are still many people who are hostile to you now, and your sister will be leaving Songyang City in 2 months to go to university on the second level of Kungshu, right? In 2 months, I'm afraid many people will deal with you. Zhang Yu said coldly, what do you want to say? The evil god tempted, don't you want your potential to be further stimulated? Don't you want to become stronger and richer, so that you can protect yourself safely after your sister leaves, take care of Bai Zhenjin, and even ascend to the second level of Kungshu together, in the future? Obviously, although this evil god hasn't been talking much during this time, it has gained a better understanding of Zhang Yu's situation, through silent observation. Zhang Yu didn't answer, but he secretly thought in his heart, of course I want to further stimulate my potential. Looking at the feather book that appeared before him, Zhang Yu couldn't wait for the feather book to ding 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 ding, increasing him by 100,000 levels in one breath, so he could blow up Kungshu with one punch. But what's the price? Zhang Yu said faintly, you want to trick me into dealing with your colleagues again? The evil god smiled and said, how can this be called tricking? I'm just giving you a reminder. You always have a way out. As long as you hunt another evil god for me, your potential will skyrocket again. Explode. Go crazy. Although he didn't get Zhang Yu's answer, the evil god understood in his heart that his suggestion must have already taken root in Zhang Yu's heart. Next, it was just a matter of waiting for him to embark on this path. That's it for today's chapter. Don't forget to like and follow so you won't miss the next update. Thank you all for listening.